think I can like that. Whoa. What the hell is rotating texture? That's some weird stuff. What the hell is it rotating the texture? No, that is some weird stuff. Apparently, if you have like one of those fixed rotation on the rotator, you know, like I had here, it would rotate my texture when I changed the parallax occlusion mapping displacement. Some weird stuff. Huh. Go figure, I guess. But I'm probably gonna need to do so Mark, I was telling you about me using Quixel to export some of the textures and then using Painter to export it. Well, actually, here is. So let me just take out the dirt and. So this is a texture from Quixel, from one of those default ones um, that they make, because you know it has a better looking scan type feel to it. But I don't have the normals and the nice floorboards type stuff. So for that I use Substance Painter. And Race Piece. I have Substance Designer and I've used it very briefly. It's really complex, so you can definitely get something like this out of that. But by the time I'm gonna figure that out, it's gonna be too late. So I do a combination of exporting textures from Dido if I like it, and then bringing it into Substance Painter and creating these textures, you know, that have like the planks and the normals, and they actually look like a floorboard type texture. But now I need to fix that because apparently I can't use the parallax occlusion mapping for this, so I'm gonna have to grab everything that's that. Most people use Painter, I think, because it's very easy to use. So yeah, I would definitely love to have the time to get into Substance Designer, but it's you know, I wanted to get it, and I think it was on sale, something. And that's when I got it. But yeah. Yeah, but that's the whole thing, you know. At least with Substance Share, you can grab some of their things that they post, which is really nice of them. So um, well, Microsoft Paint is still in heavy use nowadays. I know. All right, so I'm kind of okay with how the hallway looks, but I'd probably like to get the trim around this thing here. I don't know if it's gonna add a lot, but maybe be something to do. Oh yeah, no, Entev, I definitely use Paint to do some of that things. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I know that's what I was thinking of doing in Substance Designer, but every time I do something, you know, I just get, you know, sidetracked. Yeah. Well, I mostly use the Photoshop for a lot of textures, so um, only recently have I started using Painter to export textures, like just flat, plain type textures. And type, yeah, there's nothing to be overwhelmed. You know, like Painter is really easy to learn. Um, yeah, sometimes that's the thing with Substance Painter. I feel you on that. The shelf is definitely something that they could improve on. Okay, so can't remember what else I had planned to do. Yeah, so from what I had yesterday, there was only one bedroom, and I thought, hey, that's kind of small. And actually, my reference photo was also showing that it looked like it had some extra windows. So um, I lengthened the building, so there's 6 of these. so I could fit in the extra bedroom. Oh yeah, no, I definitely prefer to have that smart. I guess it's a smart material, right? Yeah, one layer that does everything. That's the way to go. And thankfully, so far, most of the stuff that I've used in Substance Painter have been quite alright, um, as far as that goes. But I'm gonna leave this texture for now, and I'm gonna open. Oh, is Substance not the smart material? Oh, the SPSM, something like that. That's the smart material, right? Hey, Laura, welcome. Hmm. Now I'm wondering where did those textures go? Electric items, lamps, ceiling lamps, default material. Items, lamps. That should be it. What the hell? Oh, that's kind of weird. Um, that looks great. I mean, I like it. Is it like an attic or something? Um, as far as changing, I would probably look at a. Um, I guess I don't know how much you can do with the floor. Maybe to make it a little bit less tileable. Um, the door is also very glossy by the way it looks, unless you want it that way. It just it just looks very glossy. Hmm. What the hell is going on with this that it doesn't take that new... Yeah, no problem. Yeah, well, I think, Mark, if it's like one of those bigger buildings, you know, where the ceiling is longer, maybe it's just, or it's maybe it's a flat ceiling, and then you know, I guess I'm guessing, and there's areas that you know has to drain. All right, so I really don't get why it seems like the TIFF compile, the DNA compile, DDNA compile with the roughness on it. By the way, it looks. Well, yeah, I mean it's I guess it's a matter of perspective or perception, or you know, however you're looking at the styling of it. Is there a different ceiling light? What the hell? Hmm. That is totally strange. Why this thing didn't export the way I was hoping. Let's see, where was I? Electric items, lamps. Huh. So that definitely didn't export the way I was hoping it would. This one seemed like it did. Let me try exporting this as PNG. Hmm. Oh yeah, so that's how it looks in. Did you mention you use Cinema 4D, or was that just me hearing things? Okay, so oh crap! All right, now I know what's what's wrong with this. I was exporting to my old directory structure, so that's why it wasn't coming through. Let's see. Electric items. let's try it here. Assets, props, oh yeah, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what you used to render that. Where are you exporting? Oh man, I'm like, I don't know if I'm just tired or what, but huh. Now let's change this to the TIFF format that's supposed to be. Now there we go. Alright, so there's our dirt on that. I don't know if it's a little bit too much. It's not terribly bad or terribly a lot. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, no, I think it does. I think it does okay. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. All right. Another thing that I was gonna do is some of these. This is like an old door that I've done a while back, and it's not old, so that old, but it only has one type of texture on it, and that one has the number, like a number. So it'd be okay if it's like, you know, the apartment entrance texture, which, you know, okay, you get the apartment number and so, but I don't think I want that for the interior doors, unless you're some kind of funky family and you know, you want to number the doors in your house. Laura, when you export that, I would export it to objects. Like, you can make an objects folder and export it to that. Yeah, there you go, just like Mark said. Yeah, you can import FBXs. There's like a window called the FBX. No, no spoilers. Sorry about that, Bexy. Um, yeah. So Laura, there's a little window that I think it's in the view panel, and it's called FBX Importer, and you can import that way. Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of work with. I mean, not a lot because it's pretty easy to do, with um, decals. So you know these so subtle things around like the door, like you can see in the geometry that it's right there, you know, like right here, which I like. I mean, it gives that. Whoops, that wasn't too good where it came out like that. It gives it that, you know, just worn off look, so to speak. There we go. I think I like that. It was tough till I managed to find a texture that was kind of decent for, interiors, and like the dust, the dirt, just but the really light type of worn things around the edges, like so. That's a little bit more on that side, but I think it's still gonna be okay. All right, so let's see. Oh yeah, one of the things that I was trying to do last night before going to bed, which kind of happened right after the stream ended, was I want to put some paintings on the walls. So I've made those already, but I think there might be some old UV unwrapping that happened, and it's pretty bad. So I probably need to fix that. Also, another bit of issue that I'm noticing is if you see these like edges around here, I think I might have some issues with the normals for the door frame. Um, like probably a poor bake that I've done. So I'll have a look at that later on. But so I wanted to do the paintings, pictures. So this is something old. This mirror that I have here. But I mean, it could probably still be used somewhere else. Just kind of a hallway type mirror. Um, just as a thought. Race piece. What do you mean by color bleeding? Oh, the white lines. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it could be. Um, it might very well be. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's not a huge deal, and when you bump it up to like a full HD or some kind of HD resolution, um, oh yeah, no, I do have the padding and or dilation in the textures, but I can't remember if I have it on this specific one. I guess that's how it goes when you have some like old things and you recycle them and remake them. It sometimes doesn't come out as expected. Um, Alright, so let me try this frame first. Picture frame. Alright, let me just find that the actual blend file for this. Let's see, paintings, painting, there we go. I might need to export some of these. That's some horrible UVs over there. And that's some different UVs. Wow, what is going on over here? Man, talk about revisiting some old stuff. And for some reason I thought that I had this in Substance Painter at some point. Paintings, I do have it. Paintings. So, you know, like a slightly better unwrap, and the thing definitely looks a lot better, but I'm still not sure which one this is. Paintings, pictures. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of wasted space. Oh, like in here. Well, as far as I remember, this space actually it's just I think there's a backside to the photo. There's no backside. I think the only part that matters is this, because I have a different material ID for the image. Oh, well, I mean, this what we're looking at is just a painting. Um, it's not the door, at least not the door texture. I don't have any white in the door texture, but I think when yeah, that too. But I think when I did the doors, I mean the frame, uh, I did not um, unwrap it properly, and I might have fixed that for something else, but I probably didn't expect it or export it. Sorry. Yeah, that's about the gap that I use. Um, but yeah, for this one here, it's just some horrible UV unwrap. So whoever sees this, do not do what I'm doing here. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much whenever I do the unwrap, that's what I do. Um, about 4 pixels. Um, Alright, so I was gonna try and find the one that has this kind of UV unwrap. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, normally when I got and I think I've noticed that happening. I've noticed that happening. So so yeah, no, that's a great suggestion, Race Peace. Thank you. Okay. This was something terrible done here. Okay, so let me just try and redo the. Alright, so basically they're the same model, so I don't need. I'm gonna delete these and recreate them. Yeah, exactly, Race. Yeah, so pretty much whenever I unwrap it, I think there's like 2 pixels in here. If oh, it's kind of weird how it does that. I'm not sure why it's doing that way. Oh, it's because the increments. Hmm. Well, so for this, I can probably do something that's 1024 by 512. just show you my screen caps. Yeah, I was hoping I'd be able to take up more texture space with this, but I guess you can't really do much unless I do like a separate model. Hopexy, I think I definitely depends on what I texture, I guess. But 90% of the time I use Painter, Substance Painter, just because it has the built-in Baker, which works pretty well, and it's pretty quick. So it's more of convenience factor rather than anything else. And um, I would go with Substance Painter, to be honest. Um, it's a lot easier to get into and use it. Quixel, I don't know. I mean, for me at least. Yeah, I feel you, Race Piece. Okay, so I guess I don't know what to do with this. It's just, Alright, well, let's just go ahead. I'm gonna export this. And, let's see, where do I have that? And that too, you have that integration with Designer, which is pretty big to have. Well, no, Mark, definitely. I can't live without Photoshop either. But I'm trying to get a balance in between all of that stuff. Alright, so let's see. Paintings. What do I have there? It's like a mess up a little bit. There's like these paintings, and did I have something else? I guess that's it. Yeah, I heard some good things about the 3D code as well. But I guess in the end, it's whatever suits your needs. If it suits your needs, then you know definitely go for it. Huh. I guess this one has the right. or sort of write textures on it. Yeah, I think 3D code is also kind of expensive if I'm correct. You can reproject the UVs. Huh, how do you do that? Never heard of that, or at least that technique to begin with. Oh yeah, that's what I thought you meant. Um, but yeah, no, it's definitely whenever I change the UVs in my things and bring it back in, and I just need to do another bake, and uh, and that's pretty much it. All right, so this is kind of annoying me now. Paintings. What am I doing? Paintings, pictures. All right, let's export it to that. Paintings, pictures. Okay, let's just keep it in one place. So that way, hopefully, it'll be more organized, I hope. Alright, so now let's see if we can maybe start from scratch. Alright, so it looks like the normal is good. Kind of. Let's take this away. Yeah, I guess, yeah, the normal looks good. And let me see, I think for the wood, what did I want to use? So this is one of those smart materials that I've created from actually using texture export from Dedo. So you can definitely easily do that. Um, gonna turn this down a little bit. Alright, so I'm just gonna export this. 1024 is good, and I'm gonna be able to cut that actually in Photoshop to a 1024 by 512, unless I decide later on to do another style of frame so I can fit that in as well onto that UV space. Okay, so let's see, I think that's a good place to export it. Let's do this, okay? And let's see which one. Oh, again, this is this is like the old path, the way I had it set up. So some of these old things, old exports might need to be fixed a little bit as far as the path goes, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Alright, there we go, it's compiling. Hopefully it's gonna look okay. Hopefully. Hopefully. I was trying to compile some kind of displacement texture, which I don't think I'm using, but somehow it got exported. Huh. Oh, I'm wondering what this CryEngine from cache is. Let's use a regular CryEngine export. There we go. I kind of hate it when sometimes sometimes this thing is acting up, like the CryEngine's compiler, and like I'm getting all these extra folders created, like right above where this is living. Let me just restart the engine real quick. I don't know why it does that. I might just need to go in and do it via CryTiff in Photoshop. See, it creates this thing that like a temporary kind of whatever, which I don't get why, but yeah, I guess you'll have that. Let's just, I'm just gonna go. And save it from here this way. Let's try this again. So this was the slow one. There we go. Much better. And that. And let's see, I think I need the specular as well. I'm not sure. GameCat, have you looked at any of the tutorials on YouTube? I mean, do you know at least the basics for it? I mean, I'm not going to be able to do like a full-on course with you, but yeah, hey, there you go, Bookie, thank you. Oh yeah, that's one of the best tutorials out there. Okay, so I wanted to do something for the spec. Hey, Bookie. Alright, so that's it's kind of a decent looking thing. Now I'm kind of looking at the walls, and I think I have a little bit too much dirt, especially on the top section. So yeah, that's something to maybe revisit. But so I'm gonna have maybe like a picture on this wall here, and then maybe a couple, you know, like your family photos, which I'm not sure where I'm gonna get it for. Oh, what the hell? Well, I mean, I couldn't tell you if it's necessarily a problem. Um, are you sure you're exporting the same size textures to begin with? All right, so now I'm gonna look for some of the photos that I used. Okay, there we go. Oh, well, I think GameCat, I think it's a lot of it might have to do with the lighting. Are you bringing it in and using like Cycles render or just a regular Blender render? Because I mean, and you got to think about in Substance Painter, you also see the normal, you see the spec, you see the diffuse. So are you bringing those maps into Blender as well? Yeah, or a different shader. There you go. Oh yay! I was able to get this in somehow. Kind of looks okay. Let's try and get this one in. Kind of like that. Well, race piece, I'm not sure if it's I mean, I think Cycles is PBR based, so I hope. Well, I think race piece. I think it has in Cycles you can set it up so it's a roughness workflow versus spec gloss workflow as well, as far as I know. That was such a horrible stretch. Yeah, exactly. That's what's nice about it. That it's pretty easy to do that conversion. Oh yeah, no, definitely, definitely PBR. So I'm definitely gonna have to make a bed that's, better looking. Well, and by that I mean, like that has, pulled down sheets and stuff like that. Um, this is okay. thanks so much for commenting on that race piece. Okay. So I said that these doors need to be fixed. So let's go ahead and do that. Um, and I believe that's also in one of those substance painter objects files. And let's see, it's indoors, I hope. I'm hoping. Oh, where did I put it? No, I think race piece, that was the exact same suggestions that I was gonna give. So yeah, thank you so much for that. Door 6 rectangles. This is kind of annoying because I just worked on this and I can't seem to find the substance painter file for some reason or another. I'll try searching for a couple more minutes, and if it doesn't, um, if nothing comes of it, I'll just give up and search it some other time. pretty good reflection on him, even though it's not the right one. Let's see. I'm still debating on the fact of some of these rooms having the exterior wall, just out of brick. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Um, if you guys have any opinions, if I should just change this texture for this, I could definitely give that a try. I just noticed I forgot to put one of those decals. Oh no, please Blender, don't crash. Change the texture for the interior walls, like the walls that are in touch with the exterior walls, like these here. Because right now they have the same textures as the outside. So I wasn't sure if maybe I should use this one that I've been using onto this instead of the brick. Yeah, good idea, and go on, Mark. Yeah, I'll change that actually right now, as it's gonna be really easy. Alright, so let's see. This one is interior rooms, walls. There we go. Alright, let's have a look. Yeah, good point. I think I like it better that way. Let me just update the lighting in here. So I'm missing some decals that I have to place around here, around the tops of the walls, along with yeah, I think so too, Mark. So let's just finish off. This is a little bit more like administrative task as far as getting this trim. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. I was actually thinking of changing those curtains myself. I'm can't say that I like it so much. You know. Come on, where is that? Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, that's a great suggestion, Ngoa. Thank you. Yeah, so let me just get the rest of this trim around the top edge of the walls. I mean, I have to say this trim just adds so much to. I mean, something that's simple. Yeah, race piece. This is for a game indeed. Yep. Yeah. Eventually, I'm gonna do them once once I actually get into the programming part. It's gonna be me as well, which is probably gonna be a lot of fun. Um, yeah. I mean, real-time lighting came, after I decided to go with CryEngine. But I think the first time I used it, I felt um, the lighting was more realistic. Unreal is more of a science fiction, cartoonish kind of oriented engine. Um, and like Ngoa said, real time lighting was, you know, I really love that part of it. And I mean, as far as I haven't went, you know, I haven't done almost any programming with it aside from compiling it once. But I'm focusing a lot on building the level first because that's where most of the work is gonna go into anyways. Um, and hopefully, if by then CryEngine is still gonna be around, which I hope, um, I'm gonna delve deep um, into some of the programming. Well, yeah, and that's I would say that's a downside, but again, it's one of those things that um, for my project needs, see it highly, highly unlikely that I'm gonna need access to source. Um, and also to me, the user interface was a lot more friendlier in CryEngine than Unreal. Unreal just seemed like they try to squeeze that as much stuff into that thing as they could. So it was just a complete mess when I first looked at it. So um, I kind of gauged it from that as well. CryEngine unfortunately is not free. So I mean, if you're just using it to like play around, you're not planning on doing anything commercially. Um, it's probably, I mean, it's cheap. It's just $10 a month. But yeah, it's not free. Yeah, I think that's about right. That's about what it is in Goa. Now, when it comes to releasing a game, that's a complete different story. With Unreal, you're pretty much getting raped. Well, not raped, because 5% is Unreal would charge you like 5% once you start making money, and that's before taxes. So if you're thinking you're gonna make a million, think about 50 grand. Yeah, it's royalty free. So with Unreal, 50 grand would go to Unreal before taxes. Then you pay taxes, and so you're left with whatever. So yeah, that part of it is, I think it's a plus. But there's a monthly fee, so a lot of people are, hey, Unreal is free. How come you guys aren't free? And so on and so forth. So Yeah, there's definitely some things to consider. Well, from a financial standpoint, it is, but and yeah, like Ngo is saying, they need a marketplace, and it's um, it's one of those things that they're getting better with documentation. A lot of people complain about that, and they're improving on that. They're being more responsive about things. You got to think about it. CryEngine was not like Unreal, an engine to be you know sold to people, like to you and me, some dude at home that just wants to play around with the game engine. They meant it more as a licensing for big companies. So I don't think that I mean those companies would get their time of um, technical support from the team, but they also pay a ton of money for a license. And like Ngo was saying, it would be it would be nice to have a marketplace, but I will see. If that happens, that'd be nice. If it doesn't, well. Um, so the whole building is a static mesh, if that's what you're asking. So yeah, the floor is one. Well, let's put it this way. This is one mesh, then the exterior is a separate mesh. The trim is a separate mesh as well. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, but I think that's instancing is not the best thing to do in CryEngine. It's just a performance type of hit. I was actually doing that. I was building. I created like my own little factory of to create buildings, which was sections of wall, and I would put them together and could create a few different buildings. But then I learned that um, when it comes to buildings, with CryEngine at least, um, it instancing is not going to be better for performance because you have 5 or 7 different instances, and each one of them does like say 5 draw calls, whereas the building, all the building with those 5 pieces would do 5 draw calls itself. So the whole building would be just like a Well, I mean, um, there's um, modular assets in CryEngine as well. Don't get me wrong. There's, you know, like fences and um, you know, stuff that you can set so that it doesn't render as far away. But when it comes to a building, you know, one solid object, it's a little tougher. So yeah, I mean, I was looking at what draw calls I was pulling, and it was pretty bad. Oh yeah, no worries. I mean, I was in the same boat before I picked it up, so uh, no worries about that. Maybe I'll change some of these decals, some of them, to this area of the texture because it's a little softer type dirt. So yeah, I think we'll see how this looks. I think it's a little hard. And you know, to be honest with you, I think it's a lot easier to build something in, you know, Blender or 3D Max or whatever, you know, like a full building goes, and then import it into here, you know, into an engine. At least that's just my opinion. So I've been working on the game probably about a year and a half now, but a bunch of that time was learning. You know, like I can show you some of the stuff that I've done a year ago, and you know, because I was just in the beginning, and you know, Blender, I was still getting accustomed to it. Um, so yeah, I would say about a year and a half is when I started taking it a little bit more serious, and within the past year is when I actually like every single moment that I'm not at work, you know, shopping or you know hanging out, it's pretty much this. You know, and learning some of these tools, you know, like Substance Painter, using how you know learning how to use those. It's you know it's time consuming, and I mean I definitely did not spend a year and a half just solely working on the game. You know, having all the experience that other people might have. Um, so yeah, it's always going to be a learning process as well. Oh, thank you, Dillwade. Yeah, Grimers. See, it's um, yeah, like I said, I'm not entirely sure how Unreal handles its draw calls, and like I've heard that instantiating works better in hey, I want to go on the x-axis. What's wrong with you? Or y-axis? One of those two. Um, let's see how some of this corner dirt that I'm trying to add turned out. And also, this is the first time that I'm doing this dirt in the corners, you know, so through the decals. So I'm hoping that with the next buildings, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be, um, you know, copying most of it from this building. Well, yeah, Grimers. That's the same way I had at some point one of my buildings. It was, you know, just 2 by 2 meter sections and 2 by 2 meter, you know, 2 by 2 meter sections of wall and 2 by 2 meter sections of flooring, and you know some small pieces here and there. But then when I looked at it in the scene, it had maybe, I don't know, like a few hundred draw calls when the building was complete. But when I exported that same building straight as a single mesh, that thing went down to maybe 12 or 20, somewhere around 20 draw calls. So, yeah, it was definitely a huge decrease from what it used to be. So I'm guessing it's just the way each one of these engines works with draw calls. But I have to say um, those decals definitely, I think, definitely add so much to the whole thing. Let's see if I'm missing any. I might be missing a few corners in here that I didn't throw decals on. And yes, I am. Come on. Alright, so I'm gonna try and, man, I'm going crazy with these decals. I do like them, I have to be honest, I do like them. Um, oh, that one's facing the wrong way, apparently. Alright, so I'm gonna try and get some of those around the windows, on the interior. And hopefully it will add a little bit more to the look of it. I mean, I'm also thinking of exploring the windows um, with the actual frame, so they don't sit like recessed or whatever you call them. So that might be something to think about. Alright, let's see. So I'm gonna use the ones that I have around the doors to get those around the windows. So I'm trying to think about, let's do this. Alright, let's see how that looks. Now, which one of these did I put it in? Should be in here. Okay, I mean, I can tell there's like a slight hint of dirt around the window. I'm I'm not sure if you guys can tell from the stream. I mean, I can see it around the bottom here and a little bit around the edge and on this side as well. So I'm definitely thinking I can try and export the frame with the window as well. Let me do that. Let me quickly open up that that slider window thing. Come on, I had it somewhere around here. Just a second, because I think that'll make that wall a little bit interesting. Right now it seems a little dull with it like that. Yeah, let me just look up that window real quick. There we go. All right, so let's see, what do I have here at the moment? Frame, window frame. Man, I have some names for some of this stuff. Can't remember if I actually exported the textures for this. There we go. This is what's currently there, and this would be the rest of the window. Can't recall where I have the high poly. There we go, it's right here. Alright, so let's go ahead and now join this to this. Alright, so I'm going to export it like that, and hopefully it'll look okay. At least we'll try and see how it looks. Oh yeah, I think I definitely like it much better like that. It also, if I made some mistakes about the sizing of it, hopefully it's gonna, you know, cover it. So like right now, I think, did I make them? I can make this a little smaller, so it's still gonna be within that space, and you know, I can do that. But now I just need to have the right material on it, and that's where I'm not sure if I have that exported already or not. Apparently not. So yeah, that would be something that I would have to search for a little bit. Yeah, cause see, this is how it looks in Substance Painter. So I would like to be able to export that, which is this section here. Again, could have used a little bit more love on the UV's arrangement. But so let's see. Alright, so that's slider 1. I think I need to export these separate. Have kind of a clutter in there. Let's see if we can clean it up a little bit. It's in there. Is this slider 1 correct? Man, some kind of naming convention. And plus it has something that's probably a little bit too long for the resource compiler to compile properly. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of due diligence on Photoshop. Let's try this again. That should be this one. There we go. And then frame the DNA, that one. Alright, that definitely looks better. I like it with the frame around it. So in this case, I can probably make these a little more visible. So drag these down here a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. So now you see them a little bit better. Maybe there's a little bit too much of it on this side. Trying to get a better feel for this, and because then I'm just gonna copy and paste these 4 planes around. So let's see. Maybe like so a little bit. Bring it up a little bit like that. actually the bottom one could be something from down here. Like that. Maybe make it a little bit dirtier. Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, so those decals, I can just show you how the material looks. Um, it's this thing here. So if you look at it, that's how the texture looks, and that's how the alpha looks. So it's all based off of this decal alpha fall off and the multiplier, as well as the opacity. So for example, if I'm let's see, where was opacity? Alright, so look at the bottom, hopefully you can tell. So if I increase the opacity, see now it affects everything. So this is like a little bit more extreme type dirt, which actually it doesn't look too bad, but it's a little bit for more of like an abandoned type place. But if you turn this down like kind of to here, you know, it's just one of those, gives a little hint of, you know, yeah, it's some, you know, some light dust or light dirt that's in there. Alright, so now I can just go ahead and copy this. Yeah, so Grammars, hopefully that answers your question. So one thing that I want to check is just these guys. They're kind of like in the same spot, so I might want to move just to have them have a little bit of variety. Alright, so I need to put this around this door frame as well. There we go. There's like a little bit of light stuff around this door as well. That's good. And what I can try and do is actually grab the ceiling sections and bring them into that area where it's not as not so intense. It was kind of, it seemed a little bit intense for the top of that. Alright, so let's do select that, Control I, hide. Alright, so in here I'm gonna try and grab Hopefully I grabbed them all. It looks that way. Alright, so let's go ahead and gonna look in here. No, that's not the one. It's this one. Oh. Nope. Yeah, subtle. There you go. Alright, so that one's already in place. So I'm just gonna make it easy on me. Select that and invert. Gonna bring that about there. And let's see. Excuse me. Alright, let's see about that. Hopefully that. Just gonna put this to the side to see like the change here. I think that might be a little better. It was a little bit too strong. Can make it more viewable. Let me just go in here a little bit. There we go. That's probably, I went a little bit too far with it. I think it's definitely better than the bottom section. At least it's something that's not the same. Well, let me see if I can I went too high with it. There we go. I think that's better. And I'll do the same for the ceiling sections. So let's look at this in here. I will get this, 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 this. Alright, that looks like it's the ceiling ones. So let's bring these over here. Alright, let's see how that looks. Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely better than the harsher one that was there before. I'm gonna keep the bottom one as is. So because I think that looks okay. Use one of these AC units in one of this bedroom here. Like that. Alright, I think the apartment is trying to take shape. One of the issues is that I did yesterday was I did one of those, I was trying to make it a little bit more optimized, you know, and tweaking the view distance ratio. So in doing that, I think I might have set it a little bit too low. So now, like from here, that dresser is not being rendered, so you gotta get up close before you start seeing it. So I'm gonna have to update that a little bit. Like I'm just gonna have to change it real quick. So in order to do that, I'm just gonna go back in here. Just make it so that I only select the interior, and like that. And let's see what a good distance would be for me to see that. And of course, I have something that I shouldn't be on, which is probably the decals. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Mark. Yeah, I'm happy how this is turning out. You know, things are getting better. You know, improving. But um, but yeah, I'll post the result later on, and um, and yeah, hopefully the music helps. You know, it's definitely helping with my stuff. All right, yeah, good night. So have a good day tomorrow at work. I know I'm gonna try and have one tomorrow at work as well. Alright, yeah, so see, even the door frames, you know, are getting so far to a certain distance that even the door frame doesn't render. So, so I'm gonna have to fix that. But in order to do that, I need to do, you know, the selection tool. And I'm gonna select all the decals and freeze them. So select all. And then if you hit F, it's gonna freeze those. And let's go ahead and I'll grab everything in here. I could have done it from that selection window just by using a layer. Yeah, going by layers. And what am I missing here that is not a brush? Oh, come on, Flux. Oh, is it this thing here? Nope, not that one. What is it? Yeah, Mark, and so again, you know, I'll keep on streaming next week as well. Hopefully after work. What is... let's try this. So probably going by layer is going to be easier. So I'm going to do apartment. Let's do layers. So this is going to be the interior, and I want to do a type. And grab that all the way to here. Select those guys, and I'm assuming what the hell? So I still have one object in here that is not allow me to set this view distance ratio. I can't tell what it is. You know, so we have the layer, Church Street, that's the right one. And we have all these as brushes. There we go. I think I went with select all. So when you do select all, it selects everything in that list. So now let's go ahead and set this view distance ratio, and let's see. So if somebody was to walk in the apartment, we'd probably want to see that thing back there. So let's do 6. Oh, it's getting in. Okay, we'll keep it at 12. I think 12 might be good. You're not gonna be able to see it from here, but it should be okay. But you can see it once you enter the apartment, so that's good. Alright, I think 12 would do it. Alright, so I wanted to add a few more things in here. Where was this? Buckets, bowls, etc. Bowls, not bowls, but it's in buckets. Use bucket plastic, bucket plastic, and bucket plastic, BDNA. Go. And bucket plastic, specular. Okay, there we go. That's one of them. That looks kind of gross. But we can set that somewhere under the sink maybe or something as like a drain, whatever. And this is one of the textures that come by default with the engine because I couldn't find one that was of decent flooring texture. And it's not really, PBR. So I'm kind of improvising for some of these things. I wish I would have planned better, but as far as the interiors go, it's kind of hard to get an idea. I kind of like the buildings from the outside that I see. Because a lot of the buildings are just driving down the road and I see a building and I like it. Like for example, this one. And then I'm not entirely sure because you can see it on Google Maps, right? So you can get a better feel for the size of the building and you know how the exterior looks like. Um, but then you don't really know how the interior looks. So for the interior, um, I was happy how it was with one bedroom, but then I'm thinking, you know, it might fit better with the story if there's two bedrooms. So I had to like stretch it out a little bit. But um, but yeah, overall, I don't have blueprints if that's what you're asking. Um, Even though I wish I might be going off of blueprints more, but hey, it's also a matter of um, you know I kind of like doing this whole interior type work. So you know, moving things around, it's kind of you know redecorating at home without doing all the backbreaking stuff. so um, so yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, like I said, I wish I'd be doing more. Um, and I'm sure, like in a bigger company, you know, they have somebody that's you know laying out these concepts and these drawings, and um, you know they know what they're doing. You know, a lot more than than what I'm doing here. Well, you know what, and um, to be honest, at the end of the day, right now, this is kind of more of a hobby. You know, if I was getting paid for it and there was somebody on the team that was specific going out and you know like finding drawing out a plan and maybe even like a little bit of a concept drawing, you know, that would be even better for me. But you know, at the end of the day, is it's a lot of you know uh, hobby turned into like an obsession kind of thing. So it's one of those things. If this turns into money later down the road, I'll take it. But again, if it doesn't, you know, I'm not gonna be, hey, oh. I think I should be desaturating this color a little bit. It's a little bit too hard, and I think the ones for the doors are a little bit too saturated as well. So let me try and do that and see how that turns out. I wish there was an option that you can lighten it up, but darkening it up. Okay, come on, running. Oh, it kind of looks a little better, but still I'm kind of like, could be better. Like I've always wanted to use one of those, you know, the V-type texture for the wood. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure you can do that via Substance Designer, but again, it's something that I have to learn about it a little bit. Alright, so the next thing is going to be like trying to figure out a texture for the bathroom. I mean for the floor, because this one is just completely terrible. I don't like it. And I think in this case I might be using Substance Painter to export one of their default materials. Hopefully something comes of it. Let's save this as tiles, ground. I think it can go in here. Let's delete all these guys here. Hide the dirt because I might be using it. Alright, let's see, what do we have? I know there's some decent looking tile, I think. Is it called ceramic or So there's that one, which I got some of them from Substance Share. But I'm still a little bit on the fence about, like, this one might look good for the floor. It's a pretty decent looking texture. Decent pattern to it. There's a channel, let's see basic parameters. That's okay, advanced parameters. Let's do two. And for this one, what I think I might need to do is I'm going to do an export on the normal. So let's see, where do I want to export them? I might want to export them to, let's see, materials, tiles. Alright, so I'm going to export this, so then we can, what I'm planning on doing is doing a bake based on the normal map, so I can get the ambient occlusion and the curvature map, which are going to be used to add the dirt in between the seams. Because by the way it looks, the way it's being, dirt is added is just like all over the place. So I'd like for it to be a little bit more, you know, organized, if you can call dirt organized. Alright, so I'm just gonna go in and bring that in. So it is a little bit like Everybody's Gone to Rapture, but Everybody's Gone to Rapture, it's completely abandoned. So I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna just leave it there. This island is not completely abandoned. Hopefully, I gave you enough. Yeah, because also the thing of the matter is that a lot of the scenario is based on this this mystery, you know. So that's why I'm kind of like, I don't want to say much about it, because it would just spoil the game. Alright, so let's see. Hopefully these big textures are gonna help with my dirt. Let's see, we got the curvature map. Yeah, look at that, that's great. So now I can just go in here, activate these, and as you can see, the dirt is like right in between the tiles, which is great. I like that. And that's a little bit too much, I think. Even though, I mean, I want to have the edge damage in there, but maybe I need it a little lighter, like so. And just that, turn all the way, let's do the damage intensity a little lower. And I'll do the actual dirt that's down there a little darker, like so. there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and export this. And it's gonna be CryEngine, and I'm gonna have to go back in and rename these to something more than just, or configure this a little bit better. I'm still not sure about these tags as far as $mesh, if you can change it to something else. But at least the meshes are kind of unique, sort of, not really. Alright, so let's see, where do I want to put this? In here, textures. So this is going to be floors, PBR. I want to do floors, or do I want to do, let's do tiles, PBR, and this is painter. Select, export. Alright, let's see what the last 5 to 10 minutes brought as far as a different texture for this thing here. Let's see, textures, floors, PBR, there we go. Alright, so tiles, PBR, painter. Let's try this out. Hopefully it compiles. Spec is just your regular gray, so I can just pick it up from the defaults. Oh, come on, what did you get applied to? Looks like it got compiled, but I don't know why. This thing is still running. Let's see, let's go in textures. I might just have to rename them. Tiles, PBR, painter. Looks like they all got compiled. There's no weird directory that might have gotten created. So what the hell? Oh, okay, my bad. I was, I had to scroll down I think they all compiled properly, but I was scrolling down into the material list and I was putting the diffuse um, into the wrong spot. So like Ray's piece was saying, this is where the problem comes in when it, and I've noticed that only when there's dirt, like these lines in between. Ah, man. And I did kind of like the textures, but I don't think I like it that much. Yeah. Yeah, see, this is where the issue comes in with this line here. And I'm not sure how you'd be able to get rid of that. I'm wondering if it happened during the bake. Let me try doing this again as far as exporting this. Export normal. And actually, if I'm thinking about it, I might do. I'm not sure if there is any default textures in Dedo um, that might look okay. Yeah, see, there's still this seam here. That I don't know how to fix. At least not at the present time. See if it compiles. Well, on the other, oh, there we go. Well, so that got rid of that little line in between, which is good. But let's see if I add the dirt back in, if it's gonna create it again. Come on, compile. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think I might have crashed it. Oh, maybe not. I don't know what the hell is going on with the normal that it doesn't, it hasn't compiled yet. But at least the good thing is that I got rid of that, I figured I had to get rid of that line in the floor, which was more just in the bake. But now it's all about this, let's see. Maybe I should just rename this something else. Because apparently it will not compile it. Let me do this. Tiles1.diff. Tiles1.ddna. Save. And let's just reboot the engine real quick. Well, apparently that helped, I think. Even though I don't really like that texture. At least it did compile eventually. So yeah, I don't think I don't like this texture as much. I like the pattern at least for the normal. It's kind of interesting. So I'm probably gonna look a little bit into Diidu and see if it has any of these concrete kind of shiny textures. I think they have a couple of default ones that look decent. But I am going to go and grab a little bit of dinner, and if I feel up to it, then I'll be back online later on. So maybe in an hour or two. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna sign off for now. So So yeah, we'll see you guys in a bit. If not, sometime next week. I'm normally gonna post them on Twitter and Facebook, and so if interested, feel free to join. All right, so everybody, thank you so much for stopping by, and you guys have a good night or a good day, and take care. Okay. See ya.